We're here at Worldwide Technology in St. Louis, Missouri. We're in the worldwide headquarters of Worldwide Technology. I'm here today with Kraig and Joe, and we're talking about Worldwide Tech's service provider business. So first of all, maybe you could describe Worldwide Technology's service provider business.
Yeah, perfect question. So we break that up into three different categories. We have our cloud providers or web scalers, really honing in on the top part of that business. Our CSPs or communication service providers, really our telco business, and then our cable, and we put our cable and media category together. So I mean, obviously that industry is getting a little smaller with acquisitions by Comcast and AT&T, but we see content running over that infrastructure as a key enabler for them as well.
Okay, and what's the value proposition that Worldwide Technology brings to those companies?
So I'll break it up into two categories. One is really around innovation, speed, and scale. Heavily focused on how do we help them create new offerings, do that with speed, and obviously help them scale that out globally anywhere they might need to. And then the other piece is just really how I break our teams up to help a go-to-market strategy. So you have your SPIT part of the business, our core network or infrastructure part of the business, and then the telco buy, which I think we'll talk about a little bit later, which is how do we help our service providers enable their end customers with offerings and outcomes to help them grow their business.
How does Worldwide Technology's assets like the ATC, the integration centers, to name a couple, how do those play into helping those service providers achieve speed and scale?
Yeah, our Advanced Technology Center is a very large lab facility. We've really spent about $500 million in investments with ourselves, and we actually work very closely with our OEM partners. So folks like Intel, Cisco, Dell, HPE, VMware, Red Hat, et cetera. And we really pull in technology from a wide variety of places, also some open source technologies, and it allows the service providers to actually validate solutions that they want to take to market and get that done much more quickly because we already have all of those assets in one location. And so that's really our at-speed motion. And then once we validate a particular solution for a customer, we can actually use our integration centers to actually build that at scale. So it's almost like a manufacturing center. We literally this year will ship out about 7,000 racks to customers, and in many cases those racks arrive on the customer site where they can basically bolt it to the floor, power to the rack, two uplink cables, and have an active node on their network. So the way to look at this is we use the ATC to help them move much more quickly around their technology decisions, and once they validate what they want to deploy, we can help them then deploy that at scale through our integration centers.
And no long testing procedures or telco labs have been traditionally places where new technology goes to die because it takes so long to get to market.
Exactly.
You've avoided that, right?
Yeah, I think our goal is once again to not test technology for technology's sake, but really understand what the service that the service provider is trying to deploy. So whether it's a service for an enterprise customer, a consumer, how do we really help them get to something that delivers that service, make sure that all the technology works well together, but then once again, how do we get it out to them at scale from a manufacturing perspective?
Kraig, a minute ago you referenced WWT's telco buy subsidiary. What is it and how is that helping service providers?
Telco buy has been around for over a decade and mainly there to support the telecommunications business rollout services that would be delivered to the end customer. So enterprise could be federal government. And what we've found is that service providers have done an amazing job of delivering network features to the edge of their network and really to their consumers.
Okay, so Kraig, how does Worldwide Technology help service providers with their digital transformation efforts?
Yeah, a great example of that would be Worldwide acquired a company called Asynchrony almost 3 years ago, and it was really an application or agile development house. And so our view as a company is, the technology is an enabler for something, right? And we see every enterprise, every customer is trying to create a value to their end customer, an experience. And so we've taken that asynchrony and our ability to look at the infrastructure differently and be able to package that in a way for our service providers to offer to their end customers. So as an example, if you have a service provider that's focused on retail, what are the things that we can do to bring to bear that helps them deliver a different experience for not only how they do business, but how do they essentially offer something to their consumers?
Okay, interesting. Joe, what do you think about helping service providers overcome the challenges of digital transformation?
What we really try to do is take all those assets that we have within WWT to solve those problems for our enterprise customers and bring them to bear to our service provider IT customers. And so really we're focused on digital transformation. That's really very similar to what Kraig mentioned in terms of the asynchrony application development capabilities that we have. But we're also focused on things like multi-cloud architectures. Do you want to build a private cloud? Do you want to move some of your workloads up to a public cloud? How do you handle that hybrid cloud situation? We also are very focused on security for that enterprise customer base, and then really just infrastructure modernization. How are they looking to upgrade their infrastructure with new wireless technologies, new switching, routing technologies, those types of things. So we really run the entire gamut of how do we support that IT shop as just a really traditional enterprise customer.
Well, gentlemen, thanks very much. So Worldwide Technology is one of the, again, the names behind the scenes with the big cloud providers, service providers, and cable operators. They all have common problems in the IT sphere, and these guys are helping out in every conceivable way. Thanks so much for letting me know more about your business.
Thank you.